Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. And so, yesterday we found out that Norway Subwoolfer is in the Eurovision finals, which, yeah, I love it. To be quite frank, honestly, this year I think they are the best. Sounds a bit weird coming from me, a Norwegian, but I love them so dang much. So, as you can see, I kind of had to make a Subwoolfer book tag. Though not all these are directly book related, but yeah, some book tags don't just have book questions, so this is one of those. And yeah, like in case you haven't seen, first some background. Subwoolfer is this year's band that's participating in Eurovision Fun for Norway with the song "Give That Wolf a Banana." They are they are aliens coming from a galaxy far, far away, meaning that they go on stage in complete masks. So I suppose it's kind of in a way like the Masked Singer plus Eurovision because it's in Eurovision, but it's also a whole a whole background. So the singers are Keith and Jim, or supposedly Keith and Jim, because we don't know their names. They'll call each other Keith and Jim. We don't know if that's their real names. And then there's also an astronaut. We did actually find out who the astronaut is yesterday, but Keith and Jim still are a mystery, though we still kind of have an idea who those people are as well from their singing voices. I mean, all of Norway have guessed for a long time, but singing voices and also a car was seen, so we kind of know who they are. But still, it's kind of fun to if you don't know who they are, I'm not gonna tell you. Until yeah, the whole concept of Keith and Jim and Subwoolfer is just so cool. They're so far they have won. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that, but you understand. They've won all the other singing competitions in the rest of the galaxy and the rest of the in space. So they kind of decided to, and 60 years ago they met Neil Armstrong on the moon. So they decided to, you know what? Let's go to Earth and win some singing competitions there. And Neil Armstrong asked them to sing in English in his language, so they decided to do that. And he told them all these tales from Earth, one of them being Little Red Riding Hood, and they kind of decided to write a song based on that. So yeah, kind of give a wolf a banana before he eats my grandma. Kind of their name. I mean, the wolf in the Little Red Riding Hood eats a grandma. But I mean, you shouldn't eat grandmas. Eat bananas instead. So yeah, this is just an amazing song, amazing concept, and there's also a dance to it, which yeah, it's just amazing. It's exactly what you need after this few hello years we have had. I would say since 2016 and forward. I mean, it's been a mess, people. It's been a mess. So this song, it's exactly what we need. I love it so much. So yeah, of course, so happy it's in the finals. It's not always the best songs come to finals. I mean, you have two semifinals before the finals. So yeah, it's in the finals. So I'm just so happy. So yeah, I have a book tag created around it. And let's start with the tag, shall we? Instead of talking for hours, I suppose I could talk for hours. I could, but I'm not. Okay, so number one. So Subwoolfer is a mystery in theory. I mean, people have guesses and good guesses, and I mean, we do know who the astronaut is. The astronaut being the DJ, and yeah, we have no confirmation of who that is because we saw a picture of him. I'm not gonna say who it is in case you don't want to know who it is. But yeah, so prompt number one: a favorite mysterious thing or person. So this could be like a mysterious thing, could be like Area 51, or could be a person, IA, kind of like mysterious people. I should have planned more, as I always should. Kind of like think, Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci. We don't know much about him, that much really. We don't know a lot about Shakespeare, so there's people that are famous that we don't know a lot about. So yeah, it could be a person, it could be a thing, or it could be a place. As I'm going with, I'm gonna say El Dorado because I mean it's called a legendary place because people haven't found it yet, and people claim like, no, it's not real. Yeah, no, I don't believe it's not real until I see my own eyes. I mean, it's probably probable that it's just hidden behind a big waterfall. I'm sticking with that story. I have faith in El Dorado. I mean, Charlotte probably doesn't live there, but I have hope that I have a tiny hope that it's out there somewhere. And yeah, because of that movie, and also just kind of the idea that a city of gold. Yeah, I mean, kind of sounds like I'm very greedy. I mean, it's not greedy, it's more like the aesthetics because a city of gold would just be so beautiful and just crazy. But yeah, I believe that's a thing, and yeah, that's my favorite mysterious thing or concept or well, here place. Next prompt on Neil Armstrong. So the Subwoolfer, Keith, and Jim met Neil Armstrong on the moon. So a famous person, and they became friends with him. So a famous person you want to be friends with. So I suppose this could be a lot of people because, I mean, also like it's kind of sounds different. Like often you get asked, "Oh, what's a famous person you want to meet?" Kind of like you just can say hi, or just a famous person you admire. Here's a famous person you want to be friends with. So it's not just a person you want to meet once and then say bye bye, but it's a person you think would be fun to be friends with. Again, though, still kind of difficult because I think a lot of people, like a lot of famous people, seem like nice and uh, people you could be friends with. Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna say okay. So the prompt is a famous person, but I'm gonna allow you to say like two or three because it's difficult to choose. Personally, I'm gonna go for Zach Levi because in all the interviews he just seems so nice and generous and just so laid back and yeah. And then I'm gonna go with also Koi Janro from the internet. I mean, it's kind of yeah. I mean, he's famous, but his internet's famous. But I mean, he's an I think he's a journalist. Yeah, he's a journalist. He interviews celebrities, and yeah, he's just so laid back and nice. And yeah, he loves some sports and to work out. I don't. But he's one of those people who's not like, you have to work out to be interesting and to be smart. I mean, he says like, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. And yeah, he reads comics, not that many books. But he wouldn't mind me reading books. And we could watch movies together. We could just hang out together, I think, and relax. And yeah, I think that would be nice. Said two people. I'm kind of thinking I'm gonna mention a third one, but then again, I don't know who that would be from the top of my head. But I'm gonna say no. You know what? I'm gonna leave it to those two and then kind of move on. I suppose I think I have other videos around like the topic of who I want to meet and stuff. It would be kind of fun topic to like do a whole video of people I would think would be fun to be friends with. That sounds a bit stalkery, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You get it, don't you? Yeah. And then the next prompt is Keith. One of the singers in Subwoolfer is named Keith, or is called Keith. And so here, simply a favorite person, yeah, that's called Keith. That could be a friend that you have that you want to just mention that. I mean, if you know someone cool named Keith, mention them. Or do a favorite celebrity named Keith. Though honestly, I can't really think of that many. Well, Keith Richards. Other than that, not really sure. Or it can be a fictional character, because Keith is a fictional character, so that works perfectly as well. I'm gonna go with Keith Marsh. Yeah, I made a prompt name for I couldn't really think of that many famous Keiths that I know. But Keith Marsh from Veronica Mars, yeah, it's just, yeah, a great dad, a great detective, has a great humor. He's, yeah, just all around great. So yeah, I would say he's my favorite Keith. Then the next prompt is Jim. Keith and Jim, and then the other one is Jim. And so here's the same thing. A favorite Jim could be fictional, could be real, like celebrity, it could be a person you know, what have you. And now this one I'm gonna be a bit strict. Okay, so Jim can sometimes be I suppose it's often a nickname from James. Here I'm gonna say it's a person who's mainly known as Jim. It's not like you can't say James Cook because you can't call him Jim. You have to say someone that's known for using the name Jim. So even though they might be originally called James, they have to use the name Jim mainly. Me, I'm gonna go with Jim Hawkins from Treasure Planet. Love that movie. And yeah, honestly, Jim Hawkins, he lives in space. So I suppose in theory, you could have met Jim from Subwoolfer. That would be a fun fan fiction. Maybe they've met. Subwoolfer, I think they're I think both Keith and Jim are supposed to be around 40 million years old, or around that. They're very old. Aliens age differently. So they could have met him. They could have. So yeah. Then we have next prompt. So the song goes, we'll give that wolf a banana before he eats my grandma. So it's based off Little Red Riding Hood. So a favorite retelling you have? So I really love retellings. I really enjoy them. And here's probably I should have a book to show you. I don't have that at the moment. You know what? I'm gonna go a bit traditional. I'm gonna go a bit obvious. I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say Percy Jackson. I really love that series, and it's a retelling of Greek myths, so that works perfectly fine into the prompt. And we just got some Percy Jackson news. I'm gonna do a video of that soon. The other news. I talked about Walker Scoville, but yeah, there's some things happening in that fandom which is not cool. Not cool. And yeah. And then there's also next prompt is dance, because there's a dance to the song. So with this, I'm gonna ask you to name a book with a paratext. You might think of what's a paratext? I suppose I, being a educated librarian, I know some words that not the everyday reader does. But paratext is actually something that people know about. They don't use the right word. You have to read paratext. But yeah. So it's the official term is paratext, but you can also use the word multi. God, that was hard. I thought name that right. Multi. It's not multi-language. It's multi. God, you know what? I'm gonna check. Okay, I'm not catching the name, but it's been called something multi on BookTube. Salsa. I know it. Multimedia. So kind of in the same way as Illuminate, where you have the text, but you like a story, but you also have drawings. You have newspaper clippings. So yeah, the story is not just words, but it's drawings, and it's kind of, yeah, it's not just she said, he said, they said, but it's kind of made up of different different elements, that's what you'd say. So yeah, a paratext, it can be anything like as advanced as Illuminate, where you have drawings, maps, what have you. But it could also just be or a fantasy book that has a map. A map is a paratext. So a paratext, honestly, it's just about something that's outside of the text, but that kind of adds to the text. So if a book is about, say, if a book is set in New York City, and you have a map of the subway system in New York City, well, and they use the subway in their book, well, then the subway map kind of helps you understand what they're talking about the book, and it gives you a whole new understanding. So that's a paratext or multimedia. Yeah, I really like when there's multimedia in books. Again, I haven't really prepared that much today. I'm gonna just quickly check. No, I don't think any of those have it. Give me a moment. Okay. I don't have a book here at the moment with me with multimedia. And yeah, the prompt is to name a favorite or a multimedia book. It doesn't have to be a favorite, really. Um, a lot of my favorites have multimedia in them. So choosing difficult. I'm gonna go with Graceling by Kristen Cashore because the map in the beginning. It's a beautiful map. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. And then the next prompt, yeah, I'm being a bit slow on that. Give me a moment. For notes. Finish my notes there, blah blah blah. And then joy, because the song just gives me so much joy. So simply a book that gives you joy, or gives you, no, that's wrong. A book that fills you with joy, that just kind of gives you overwhelming joy. Again, kind of difficult. There's so many books. I'm gonna go with which book I'm going with. Yeah, I really should prepare. Like, I suppose when I make tags, I suppose it's difficult to find out to figure out the prompts, but then like I should find answers myself. You know what? I'm gonna go with Get a Life, Chloe Brown, because that one just filled me. I mean, yeah, it's emotional. It's not just happy, but it's an amazing story. So I'm gonna go with that one. And then the last prompt is so black and yellow, because well, it's kind of two prompts, but yeah, it's kind of the same prompt. So they're dressed in black and yellow. So a book cover with black covers and a book cover with yellow covers. And I'm gonna go with Marian Lane and a Midnight Murder. So this, it's not just black, but it's dark colors. So I'm gonna use this one. And then we have Europeana by Simon Eikan. This is a non-fiction book about Europe in Norway, in Norwegian, and it's yellow, as you can see, mainly. I haven't read it yet, but kind of thought I was going to read it for this readathon. Hasn't happened, but yeah. And yeah, also the bonus question, if you want, you can name a favorite science fiction book. Personally, I haven't really read that many science fiction books, so I don't really have that many favorites of them. But if you're a science fiction reader, you can mention all of those if you want to, because subwoolfers are true aliens, and yeah. Now, I really recommend you to check out subwoolfers on Instagram, because yeah, they're very funny. Follow them, but yeah, they're very funny. But also to check out their song, it's just an amazing song. Of course, I'm gonna link it down below. And yeah, I'm going to be doing another video, of course, on Friday when we'll talk about more in general, well, Eurovision, but also the songs for Eurovision, like a bit more on the songs that I liked and didn't like. And yeah, so I'm gonna end it here, half an hour. I mean, maybe I suppose you could just skip a few bits here and there if you want, but yeah. So yeah, this is kind of a little way of honoring Subwoolfer and showing my love for them. And yeah, bye.